Hello, it's tax season. It's the most wonderful time of my year. So let's talk about some of the forms you might expect to get this tax season. And if you haven't filed your taxes yet, please do. Please do. Although now and prior years are probably the best time to evade the IRS because they are backlogged. They are very much backlogged. So if you work a job and are considered an employee, you're probably getting a W-2, and I will post an image of it right here. What this does is lays out the money you made and the taxes that were withheld for the IRS. And if you're in a state that has a state income tax, the state income tax withheld. And withholdings are just kind of like prepayments of your tax. Let's think of it that way. They're prepayments that are made while you are working, taken directly out of your paycheck for the end of the year when you start to look at your taxes and may owe or get a refund. And if you were to look at your tax return, you would see those withholding amounts as prepayments or payments for tax. The second thing, if you are a student, you can expect to get a 1098-T. And not just any student, if you are a student in a college program, whether it be an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or even, I believe, a graduate degree, you'll get a 1098-T from a qualified educational institution. And what the 1098-T does, I'll put a picture here again, is says, hey, this is what you've paid in tuition. Now, if you are living on campus, it does not include room and board because room and board is not considered a deductible expense for your tax return. I know, and it's room and board in addition to tuition that really kills you, but let's not talk about that. So it's going to give you that. And also, if you have any scholarships or grants through that educational institution or that they kind of route the financial aid through, then that is where you will also see that amount on your 1098-T. So make sure you get it from your school, you keep it, it's not garbage. And if you've misplaced it, you can probably go to, I think, like your cashier or your financial aid office or the bursar's office in order to get another copy if you can't go to your school's online portal and download one from there. The third thing, now not everyone is going to get this, but you can expect to get it if you have a savings account. And if you don't have a savings account, or if you're wondering more about different savings accounts, there's a video. There's a video. I think it's up here. If not up here, there's a video up here. I'm going to link to it right there. And it's all about savings, a savings 101, if you will. That way you can learn a little bit more about the different types of savings accounts and what might work best for you. But if you have a savings account that pays you interest, you might get a 1099 INT, which is a 1099 interest form. And what that's going to do is tell you, I have a picture here again, the interest that was paid to you from your bank or financial institution. We can get more into other types of interest in another video, but that's usually what I see most people get 1099 interest forms for. Well, most of us regular folk, I guess. So then, another 1099 that you might receive, especially if you are out here side hustling, whether it be Uber, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Lyft, is a 1099 NEC. And what the NEC stands for is non-employee compensation. That means you're not considered an employee of Uber, DoorDash, Lyft. I don't remember some of the other ones. Y'all help me out here. Editing me, help me out here. Throw some logos up here. You don't work for them as an employee. You work for them as a contractor. And what the most technical, easiest way to explain it is they're just not withholding tax from you, or for you rather. So at the end of the year, you're going to get this form and all of that income was not taxed, so you can guess what's going to happen. At the end of the year, you're going to get taxed on it. And for some people, that is a boop and a half and quite frustrating to notice that you have a ton of income, especially if you made upwards of thousands of dollars, and now you have to pay taxes on it that you did not pay, and you may also face an underpayment penalty. Doesn't that suck? So we can talk in another video about how you can mitigate having such a huge tax bill next year at another point in time this year. But for now, all you need to know, you might get a 1099 NEC, in which case, if it doesn't come through the mail, you might have to log into your employer's site. So I'll just use Uber Eats. You would log into Uber Eats as in your driver account. You would probably go into your account and you would look for the tax forms, where you would look for a 1099. And that is where you would get it from. A lot of these newer tech companies may not mail it out. You're held liable and responsible for going online and getting it yourself. Then the last thing, I think it's 5, that you might get is a 1099-B. And what a 1099-B is a detailed outline of the sales of stock and in some cases crypto that you've had throughout the year. Now, when you purchase stock, mutual funds, crypto, you're not going to have to report anything at purchase. However, it's once you sell during the year that you will have a reportable transaction to the IRS or to your state taxing authority. Now, the important thing to know about 1099-Bs is that they can be long. If you are really into trading, or if you have just gotten into trading, you might have to really look at it to understand how a 1099-B works. Because what's happening on the 1099-B is you're going to see 2 types of transactions. So they're what are called short-term transactions and long-term transactions. Why you don't normally want to hold assets for less than a year, and assets in this case just means stock, mutual funds, crypto, is because the short-term capital gains tax rate, so the tax rate on holding an asset for the short term tends to be higher than holding it for long term. And the long term is really just anything over a year. So my dog has pushed his way into the room. Anyway, you will see on your 1099-B a few columns. So the key things to note: the date you sold. Then you will see, I believe, the date acquired. Again, I'm not looking at a 1099-B right this second because this was an impromptu video. But you will see the date acquired. And I know it's in a bit of a weird fashion where it's date sold, name, date acquired. Child, if the IRS and if the government made a whole lot of sense, life would be so different. If taxes in general made much more sense, I wouldn't have a job. Let's think about that. I would be in some other field of accounting. Anyway, then you'll have what's called your proceeds. And the proceeds is the selling price of the stock, crypto, mutual fund. So whatever you sold at, then you will have your gain or loss. And the gain or the loss is really your proceeds less what is called your cost basis. So then you will see the wash sale loss disallowed because it's a wash sale, and I'll put the definition right here as well. I definitely missed something. Okay, so date acquired. Then you will see your proceeds. I believe it's either your proceeds or your cost basis. So let's go with your proceeds first. That's the selling price. So that is the price at which you sold your stock, crypto, or mutual fund. Then you'll see your cost basis, and your cost basis is the cost that you paid for the stock plus any fees. And then you will see the wash sale loss disallowed. This is most common. There are other things that could be shown there. It's usually the wash sale loss disallowed. And then you will follow that up with your gain or loss on the sale. And the gain or loss on the sale is your proceeds less your cost basis. So selling price, I'm looking up here because I'm going to put it up there, minus cost equals gain or loss. Those are the 5 things you can expect to receive this tax season, the 5 forms. There are many, many more. So if you have other ones, don't think that this video was all encompassing of all the tax forms you'll get, because you might get more, you might get less. It is all dependent upon your personal situation. So with that, and this little bit of edutainment, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get your taxes done. And if you have any questions about who you should work with, I'm completely biased. It should be me. But I hope you have a wonderful, happy tax season. I hope you get back large refunds or just don't owe. And with that one, I'm out. Riley and I say bye. So until the next one.